My big thought and my big focus is on Lucas and the hip hop music and the infusion of black culture, or at least the embrace of black culture that became hugely prominent toward the end of the 80s and into the 90s. That is what I want to see the most. What do you want to see the most going into season 5? That is the big question. I would love to hear from you. What's good, everybody? Welcome to Whole Views. Thank you for clicking the thumbnail. Today, we're going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 4, the wrap-up, and what do you want to see in Season 5, like a preview. Jumping right into the discussion, let's talk about what we do know. So, Season 4 wrapped up just recently. Hawkins is in flames, but we have heard from the Duffer Brothers that there will be some sort of a time jump moving into Season 5 and wrapping up the Stranger Things story, the main story. And my thought immediately becomes, how far of a time jump could it be if Hawkins is left in the state that it was in at the end of that last episode? It's smoking. There's red lightning in the sky. What the hell is going on? I don't see any way that people would inhabit the city for years with it in those conditions. At some point, everything's gonna have to get peeled back, and then we're gonna have to see like a renewal of Hawkins for people to stay living there and for us to still have a high school with the kids there and everything else. With that being said though, it makes me think that they're gonna do a time jump only a few years, possibly into the kids' senior year, so we can have our actors be closer to their ages in real life. Dustin is 20 years old. Lucas is 20 years old. Finn Wolfhard is 19. Millie Bobby Brown is 18. So I imagine if they do anything, they would jump these kids from freshmen to senior year, and then everything kind of culminates with their last year of high school and them getting out into the world. I can't imagine them going them past high school and getting into the 90s because, again, Hawkins is in a state of disarray. There's no way that you can have a town look like that and then you jump 5, 6, 7 years into the future and that town is back to normal and nothing has happened and nothing has come of everything that was said and done at the end of season 4. I'm imagining season 5 is gonna be focused on the kids' senior year, last year in high school, and then you have this last event with the Upside Down and Elle and everything else. Moving past that though, I wanna kind of get into the preview. And when you talk about a preview, you're kind of talking about your ideas that you wanna see. And I'm open for a suggestion. My big focus going into season 5, depending on the time jump, even if it's only the senior year, I wanna see some big changes coming from the Lucas character. I would like to see Caleb McLaughlin have some spotlight shine on him and the girl who plays the little sister, Erica. I would love to see them get some shine. And as well as late 80s, early 90s, man, I would like to see them embrace their blackness a little bit more, because the soundtracks that's available to the show just open up so much more when you get to some hip hop from the late 80s, early 90s. You got LL Cool J, you got Eric B. and Rakim, you got Tribe Called Quest, you got a lot. You got all NWA stuff is prominent at that time, and I'm just thinking to myself, it would be crazy to see Lucas embracing a different side of himself and becoming just a slightly bit more of a standout character, at least from a cultural perspective. I'd be kind of let down if they don't touch on any of that before the show ends, because it's a very rich thing they can tap into right there at the end of the 80s. You know, class of 89, Lucas and the rest of the crew is kind of getting more into some edgier music and some edgier styles of life, and that would be a cool thing to explore. As far as all the other characters go, I'm kind of thinking it's gonna be relatively predictable. Like, you're gonna see a lot of Will and Dustin together. Probably you're gonna see a lot of Mike and Elle together. I'm guessing at this point, Steve is gonna be either totally over Nancy, or you're gonna see a pairing of those two together. The Jonathan-Nancy relationship will be done possibly at that point, probably by that point. You're gonna see Hopper and Joyce still paired together. Hopefully they can get a happily ever after. I'm highly doubtful on that, depending on how dark the series goes. I just don't see Hopper continuously saving the day and without any consequence. He might be the catalyst for Elle to move into the next level and actually take out Vecna/1/Henry. Because of something that Vecna said, he talked about Nancy and he showed her mother and her sister and the town, but he didn't show her father. And the idea is that, in my head at least, like, Mr. Wheeler might be dead. He might be out of there. And that'd be, different to see him not present, because he always provides just a little bit each season. All the parents provide just a small little bit each season. And I would like to see Mr. Wheeler come back, but also it wouldn't shock me if they kill him off screen or if he dies during the process, just because he wasn't mentioned in that like foreboding, premonition, prophecy type of thing that Vecna did to Nancy. So that's where my thoughts are on Mr. Wheeler. Talking more about characters, I would love to see Mike become more useful than just being Elle's cheerleader. He is the heart of the group, as they talk about in season 4 in earlier seasons, but for seasons 3 and seasons 4, Mike Wheeler has felt incredibly useless as a character, so much so that I thought that he might actually bite the bullet at the end of season 4. Like, it's possible that he could get taken out some type of way. He made it through. I'm imagining he's gonna make it through season 5, but I'm just thinking out loud and thinking, Mike has to become more useful or he can go. I do feel like the focus will be heavily on Will, because he had that initial connection. Some type of way he's gonna play a role in this fight between Eleven and Vecna/Henry/1. Outside of that, I don't have much concrete information. My big thought and my big focus is on Lucas and the hip hop music and the infusion of Black culture, or at least the embrace of Black culture that became hugely prominent toward the end of the 80s and into the 90s. That is what I want to see the most. What do you want to see the most going into season 5? That is the big question. I would love to hear from you. Drop your comments in the comment section, please. That's all I have for this very short video. Season 4 was phenomenal. I enjoyed it probably as much as the initial season, and definitely more than season 2. But let me know what you think about the seasons and where they rank as well in the comment section. And that's it for today. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.